Have you ever looked at your plate and wondered, am I really eating what my body needs these days? Maybe you've started to notice that the same meals you used to enjoy don't leave you feeling as energized or satisfied anymore. Or perhaps your doctor mentioned something about cholesterol, blood pressure, or bone strength, and now you're left thinking, where do I even start? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, our bodies start to change in ways we can't always see, but we definitely feel. Things slow down a bit. Digestion gets more sensitive. We don't bounce back from a sugary snack or a heavy meal the way we did in our 30s or 40s. But here's the good news. Small changes can make a big difference. And when it comes to nutrition, a few simple food swaps can boost your health, energy, and well-being instantly. Today, we're going to chat about 6 easy, realistic changes you can make at the grocery store, in your kitchen, or even at your favorite restaurant. You won't need to give up everything you love. No one's taking away your morning toast or your Sunday roast. But these swaps are about working with your body, not against it. Think of it as tuning up the engine, not replacing the whole car. Let's start with something many of us enjoy every single morning: breakfast. For a lot of people, that means toast, a bagel, maybe a bowl of cereal. And while these can be comforting, especially first thing in the morning, they often spike your blood sugar and leave you feeling hungry again in an hour or two. Here's a simple swap. Instead of regular white toast or a sugary cereal, try whole grain toast paired with a little protein, like natural peanut butter or a boiled egg. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Whole grain. Isn't that tough or bland? Actually, many whole grain breads today are soft, flavorful, and come with the added bonus of fiber, which helps keep you full longer and supports digestion. Plus, when you add a protein source, you're giving your body steady energy that lasts through the morning. You'll feel more alert, less snacky before lunch, and your blood sugar will stay much more balanced. Speaking of snacks, let's talk about one of the biggest traps for seniors trying to eat healthier: processed snack foods. Crackers, chips, those little snack bars. They're convenient, sure, but most are loaded with refined carbs, sodium, and preservatives. They don't do much for your body except leave you reaching for more 20 minutes later. Here's a better choice. Instead of grabbing a bag of crackers, reach for a handful of mixed nuts or some sliced vegetables with hummus. Almonds, walnuts, or even roasted chickpeas are packed with healthy fats, fiber, and a bit of protein. They give you that satisfying crunch and keep you full without weighing you down. And if you miss the convenience of a grab-and-go snack, try making your own little snack packs at home. Zip-top bags with a mix of nuts, maybe some dried fruit, and a couple of dark chocolate chips for a little treat. What's really exciting about these kinds of swaps is that they don't feel like deprivation. You're still eating, you're still enjoying food. You're just choosing versions that support your body better, foods that give back instead of take away. And the difference isn't just on a lab report. You'll feel it. More energy, better digestion, less brain fog. That slight bloating or sluggishness after meals, it starts to go away. Another area where we can make a powerful change is with drinks. You probably already know that sugary sodas and sweetened teas aren't the best choice, but many people still don't realize just how sneaky sugar can be, especially in drinks that sound healthy. Store-bought smoothies, fruit juices, and even some vitamin waters can pack in more sugar than a slice of cake. And because liquids are absorbed faster than solid foods, that sugar hits your system in a rush. But you don't have to switch to plain water all day, unless you want to, of course. A better swap? Infused water with fresh fruits and herbs. Add a few slices of orange, cucumber, or some mint to a pitcher of water and keep it in the fridge. It tastes refreshing, has zero added sugar, and gives you that fancy feel. You can also try herbal teas like ginger, peppermint, or chamomile, served hot or cold. They hydrate you, soothe digestion, and can even help with sleep or joint discomfort. What's most important is that you don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. These swaps are about making better choices, one meal, one snack, one sip at a time. You don't need a brand new diet or a trendy cleanse. You just need to look at what you're already eating and ask, is there a slightly better option I'd enjoy just as much? Often, the answer is yes, and your body will thank you for it. Now that we've looked at how a better breakfast, smarter snacks, and healthier drinks can shift how you feel day to day, let's keep going. There are still a few more areas where a simple eat this, not that switch can have a big impact on your energy, your digestion, and even your mood. Let's keep going. There are still a few more areas where a simple eat this, not that switch can have a big impact on your energy, your digestion, and even your mood. Now, let's talk about something we often think of as healthy, but that can sometimes work against us as we age. Dairy. If you've been reaching for low-fat or fat-free yogurt thinking it's the better option, you're not alone. For years, we were told to avoid fat like the plague. But here's the truth. Your body actually needs healthy fats, especially as you get older. And many low-fat dairy products replace the fat with added sugars and thickeners that don't do your digestion or your waistline any favors. Instead, go for full-fat, unsweetened Greek yogurt. It's creamy, it's satisfying, and it's packed with protein and probiotics, those good for your gut bacteria that can help with digestion, immunity, and even brain health. Top it with a few fresh berries and a sprinkle of flaxseed or chia, and you've got a delicious breakfast or snack that supports your body on multiple levels. And if you're someone who's lactose sensitive or you just don't feel great after dairy, there are some wonderful alternatives now. Almond, oat, or coconut-based yogurts are easier on the stomach, and many are fortified with calcium and vitamin D, two nutrients that become even more important after 60 to keep bones strong and reduce the risk of falls or fractures. Let's shift to something that shows up on a lot of dinner plates, especially during the colder months. Comfort foods. Think mashed potatoes, pasta, casseroles. They're warm, familiar, and let's be honest, they make us feel good. But many of those foods are heavy on starchy refined carbs that spike blood sugar and don't offer much in the way of fiber or nutrients. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to ditch comfort food entirely. Life's too short not to enjoy your favorites. But here's a smart swap that gives you the same cozy feel with a lot more benefits. Instead of white potatoes or plain pasta, try sweet potatoes or whole grain pasta. Sweet potatoes are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and a form of vitamin A that supports your eyes and immune system. Plus, they have a natural sweetness that can help curb dessert cravings before they even start. And whole grain or legume-based pastas? These aren't the dry, chewy substitutes of the past. These days, they cook up nicely and actually taste good, plus they come packed with fiber and plant-based protein. You stay full longer and help your heart in the process. Another great comfort swap? Cauliflower. Seriously, you can mash it, rice it, roast it. It's surprisingly versatile. A mashed cauliflower side with garlic and herbs can be just as satisfying as mashed potatoes, but with a fraction of the carbs and a whole lot of vitamins. Now let's touch on something that can be a real challenge for many folks: meat. Specifically, red meats like beef, pork, or even processed meats like deli slices and sausages. These foods have long been a staple in many households, and there's no denying the flavor. But as we age, heavy meats can be tougher to digest, and processed versions are often loaded with sodium and preservatives that increase inflammation and heart risk. So, what can you do instead? Try swapping red or processed meats a few times a week for fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or trout. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are like gold for your brain, joints, and heart. They're anti-inflammatory, they support cognitive health, and they can even help lower triglycerides. If you're not a fan of fish or you don't eat meat, there are plenty of great plant-based protein options too, like lentils, beans, tofu, and tempeh. A hearty lentil stew or black bean chili can be incredibly satisfying, especially when seasoned well. You get the protein your muscles need to stay strong without the heaviness or extra saturated fat. And here's the beauty of all these swaps. They're not about restriction. They're about enhancement. You're not losing flavor, texture, or satisfaction. In fact, many people find that after just a week or two of making these changes, their taste buds start to shift. The overly salty or overly sweet foods don't taste quite as appealing anymore, and natural, wholesome foods start to shine. Because at the end of the day, eating well isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about living with more energy, more clarity, and more ease. It's about being able to go for that walk, enjoy your grandkids, tend to your garden, or do whatever brings you joy without being held back by fatigue or digestive troubles. It's about giving your body what it truly needs so you can keep doing the things you love. These swaps aren't complicated. They don't require a personal chef or expensive ingredients. They're things you can do starting today, on your next trip to the store, or even by checking what's already in your pantry. And the best part? You're not starting from scratch. You're simply upgrading what you already do. Next time you're preparing a meal, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is there a version of this that's just a little better for me? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be yes, and your body will notice the difference. 9 times out of 10, the answer will be yes, and your body will notice the difference. Now let's talk about one last area that often gets overlooked but plays a huge role in how we feel day to day: sweets. We all know that cutting back on sugar is important, especially for managing weight, blood pressure, and blood sugar. But let's be honest. Saying, just stop eating sugar isn't helpful. Dessert isn't just about food. It's emotional. It brings comfort, memories, a sense of reward. And nobody wants to feel like they're giving up joy just to be healthy. But what if you didn't have to give up dessert at all? What if you just swapped out the kind that leaves you feeling sluggish and bloated for one that still satisfies your sweet tooth and supports your health? Here's the swap. Instead of packaged cookies, pastries, or cakes loaded with refined flour and added sugars, go for naturally sweet options like baked apples with cinnamon, dark chocolate with almonds, or even homemade chia pudding with a little honey and fresh fruit. These kinds of treats still feel indulgent, but they come with fiber, antioxidants, and far fewer blood sugar spikes. If you like to bake, try replacing some of the sugar in your recipes with mashed bananas, unsweetened applesauce, or even pureed dates. Not only do they add natural sweetness, but they also give you bonus nutrients and moisture. A batch of banana oat muffins or a fruit crisp made with oats and berries can hit the spot just as well as a frosted cupcake, without the crash an hour later. And if dessert is your ritual, like a little something sweet after dinner, that's okay. The goal isn't to cut joy from your life. It's to make sure the joy doesn't come at the cost of your energy, your sleep, or your long-term health. When you start making these kinds of swaps, whole grains instead of white carbs, full-fat yogurt instead of sugary ones, colorful veggies instead of heavy sides, fish and plant-based proteins instead of processed meats, naturally sweet treats instead of refined sugar, you're not just eating differently, you're living differently. Meals become something that fuel you, not drain you. Snacks satisfy without making you sluggish. And food becomes your partner in staying active, independent, and feeling good. And here's something really powerful to remember. You're not doing this to chase youth. You're doing this to feel strong, clear-headed, and comfortable in your own skin. Right now, in the body you have, at the stage of life you're in. There's no magic number. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about adding life to your years, not just years to your life. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to start. One small swap at a time. Maybe it's skipping the soda at lunch and trying that fruit-infused water. Maybe it's switching out white rice for quinoa at dinner. Or reaching for Greek yogurt instead of a sugar-loaded snack. Each choice adds up. Each one makes a difference. And the beautiful thing is, you're in control. You're the one holding the fork, standing in the kitchen, making the grocery list. No one else. That means every day, you get a fresh chance to nourish yourself with love and intention. Not rules, not guilt. Just good choices that make you feel better. So, as we wrap up this video, I want you to feel proud. Proud that you're learning, that you're showing up for your health, and that you care enough about your well-being to take these simple steps. Because they matter. You matter. And if anything we've talked about today inspired you, even just a little, leave a comment below and let us know. What's one swap you're going to try this week? Or maybe you've already made one and you're feeling the difference. Either way, I'd love to hear from you. We're all in this together, and your story might just help someone else take that first step too. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more tips, ideas, and real conversations about living well, no matter your age. We've got so much more to share, and I'd love to have you with us. Here's to living your best life at any age, with a little more flavor, a lot more energy, and food that truly loves you back. Until next time, take care of yourself, and keep choosing what fuels you.